Abby, I remember you said something about seeing your dad soon. When is it again?
To visit a hospital? I was going to see him the day after tomorrow. Why?
I thought I'd tag along. I haven't been able to make time to see him in a long time.
Oh, it's so sweet of you. I think he would be very happy to see you. But I'm a bit surprised you'd suggest anything like that.
Why would you be? I do care for your father in case you didn't know.
I know you do, honey. I'm very thankful that you do. But you have work that day, don't you? Are you going to take the day off?
My office is close to the hospital, so I will use my lunch break to come see him. I won't be able to stay that long though.
Oh, that's not a problem. I will let him know and ask him to try to stay away around lunch.
Does he sleep a lot during the day now? Is his condition that bad?
Kind of. He sleeps most of the day recently. I haven't been able to speak to him much either because he is barely awake whenever I see him. I think it's because of what the doctor told me. It means he is losing his strength.
I see. I hope he gets better soon. My parents send their regards too.
Thank you.
Oh, one more thing. I have a favor to ask. Will you help me?
A favor? What is it?
I'd like to borrow some money from your dad, and I want to talk to him about it, but I don't want to be rude, so will you ask him with me?
What? Why do you need money? Did you do something?
No, it's not me. My parents have some sort of loan. I want to help them pay it off, but I don't have enough. But your dad has all his investments and all that, so I was wondering if he'd be able to help.
Luke, I don't think that's very appropriate. He is very ill right now. Now is not the time to talk about money.
I don't have any other options. The payment is due in a matter of days.
That's their problem. I'm sorry, but my father has nothing to do with it. If you really want to help them, I think it should be from us, not from my dad. If that's the case, I can help.
I wouldn't ask your dad if I could help them myself.
Is the loan that big? How much do they need?
I think about $30,000.
30 grand? I know your parents are big spenders. Did they splurge on something unplanned?
No, they wouldn't do that. What the hell do you take my parents for?
Well, I have my reasons to be suspicious of them. Anyway, you can't ask my dad. He is ill, for God's sake. Don't say anything ridiculous.
But Abby, they could get in real trouble.
Will you think about how my father would feel? He will be very sad to find out that you only paid him a visit to ask for money. Sorry, but it's a firm no.
Well then, I won't. But do you think you can when you think it's best? I mean, preferably as soon as possible.
Okay, we will discuss this another time. But I mean it when I say you can't ask him, or else you cannot visit him.
Fine.
Luke, what the hell was that? I told you not to.
I'm sorry, but you weren't helping. If you had asked in the first place, I wouldn't have today.
How dare you? And why the hell did your parents show up? You cornered my father. You shouldn't have brought them.
My parents are the ones who need the money. It's appropriate that they ask in person.
So you want to talk about manners? What do you think about cornering a bedridden man for money, huh? Have you no shame?
Like I said, we don't have any other option. And what's wrong with your dad? How can he be such a cheapskate when he has so much money? We asked politely.
Excuse me? You've got some nerve to complain. He refused to lend your parents any money because he couldn't understand why your parents need it. They were not clear about why they have such a big loan suddenly.
His family is in dire need. All he cared about was how many parents ended up like that, or if they even really had any loan to pay off. How rude can he be?
The only rude people in that room were you three. You guys stormed into his room and barely said hello before you started to talk about money. Yet, you can't even answer why you need it? Give us a break.
That's what I mean by cheapskate. A real man wouldn't ask and just hand out money to be needy. So stingy. My parents were so disappointed.
You're the one who is disappointing. I had been clear about not asking him. You broke that promise.
I did what was necessary to help my parents, but your dad refused to help them despite his wealth. I am so ashamed to call someone so selfish my father-in-law. I guess money couldn't buy him compassion.
You know what? We should get a divorce. Then you won't have to be related to him anymore.
Are you being serious?
I don't care if we do. What you did to my father is worth a divorce.
I won't take you back even if you regret it later. You understand that?
Oh, don't worry. I do. I will call my lawyer now and have him prepare the documents immediately. You should call your lawyer too.
Fine then. I will. I'll even sign the papers right away. Don't come back to me crying. Hello, Abby? You're still mad? When are you coming home?
I thought we were both ready to get a divorce. How can you act like this is all well?
Yeah, well, you know the whole divorce thing fell through. You agreed to hold it off afterwards.
I agreed to hold it off because my father was in critical condition and I didn't have time for you. I can sign the papers right now and go file it at court.
Don't be so cold. I got a little heated, spur of the moment. You shouldn't have brought up a divorce in the first place.
Spur of the moment. You signed the papers before you even read them.
I wasn't thinking clearly. You know I love you, and I know you love me too. We would be such fools to let anger drive us towards a divorce.
Whatever, Luke. I'm busy right now. I don't know when my dad will worsen again. I agreed to hold it off, but I won't be returning home.
He's been fine for a couple of days now. Why don't you come home and relax for a bit?
The doctor warned me. He said his body could give in any time, so there is no relaxing for me right now.
Why can't you care for me a little, huh? I've been living off frozen pizza for days. I'm so sick of it. I don't get to eat anything decent when you're not home.
You really don't care about anyone else but yourself. My father is dying. Take care of your goddamn self.
Why should I care for him? He refused to help my parents. I'm not going to raise one finger for that cheapskate.
You are unbelievable. You should get some help. Really.
But it is all his fault. We asked so politely. By the way, don't bother to invite us to his funeral. We don't give a damn about him.
Seriously? You are still his son-in-law.
I married you, not him. He's not a real relative. He chose to be a stranger to us when he refused to lend us money.
How pathetic. He'd be so sad to hear all this.
I said I don't care. Anyway, come home already. I don't have all day to ask nicely, You need to do what is required of a wife.
Oh my gosh, I have to go.
Huh? What is there to prioritize above your husband?
My dad is crashing again. I don't have time to talk to you. If you want to come, help yourself.
Hell no. Like I said, I won't be attending his funeral either. Just come home when things are over, okay? Good luck. Hey, Abby. How have you been? You must be tired from everything. From the funeral to cleaning up his house and all.
What do you want?
So feisty. You haven't been home in so long. I've been worried about you, You handled everything on your own, right?
Yes, because the man I used to call my husband provided zero support, nor did he show up to his father-in-law's funeral.
At least I told you beforehand that I wouldn't be attending. Anyway, I'm glad everything is done and over with. So when are you coming home? I really miss your cooking.
Funny. You are actually hilarious.
Come on, don't be so sarcastic. So is it true? Did your dad really leave you $100 million?
Where the hell did you get that from? You're not supposed to know.
Some of your relatives really like to gossip. But I mean, $100 million? We would have so much even after paying off my parents' loan. Should we buy a house?
We are not buying any house. We are divorced and not related anymore. I have nothing to do with your parents' loan. Please handle it yourself.
What are you talking about? We decided to hold off on that, remember? Stop playing around.
You mean you don't recall signing the papers? You know I kept the papers. It was up to me whether I file it or not.
What? I never agreed to anything. I told you it was all spur of the moment.
But you signed it, didn't you? You even said that you won't take me back. So I went ahead and countersigned the papers. I don't see what the problem is.
You can't still be mad at me, Abby. Is this about your dad? All right, I'm sorry. Don't hand the papers in, honey.
I told you. It's been filed already. In fact, they were filed the day after you said you are not attending my father's funeral. Everything is too late, Luke.
You better be joking. You just want the money to yourself. You will not get away with this.
Get away with what, exactly? Keeping what was bestowed to me? What makes you think you are entitled to anything of what my father left?
You will pay me consolation money. I'm sure you have enough. You'll also pay off my parents' loan.
You are so dumb, Luke. Why in the world would I do that? I do not have a single penny to spare you or your parents.
You filed the papers without me knowing? I never gave you permission to do that. You pay for what you've done.
No, I will not. I have absolutely no fault. You should blame yourself for signing at the spur of the moment.
Then let's get married again. It's inevitable that the papers were filed, but we can redo our marriage. We still love each other. Our divorce was all a misunderstanding.
Nice try. But I will not be wasting another second on someone who thinks of my father as some sort of money tree. I wish someone would pay me for being your wife for this long, actually.
Don't push me away, Abby. You know I was only trying to help my parents. I was in a panic, you see? I wasn't myself.
Yes, I see.
You get it, right? Then let's get married again. We can enjoy ourselves for the rest of our lives with your dad's money.
I see that this is the true you, Luke. All along, you've been hiding who you really are. You only showed me your good side. I'm so glad that I see the real side now.
No, that's not what I mean. Why don't you understand? I need you in my life, Abby. Please don't leave me.
It's the money you need, not me. I will not be an exclusive ATM to you or your parents. Go figure out your own problem. I'm sure it will be difficult for someone as irresponsible as you to take care of your also irresponsible parents. But hey, good luck! I quickly deleted him from my smartphone after our last conversation. I really did have the divorce papers filed earlier, so I am glad to say that I have no relation to him now. I made several sneak visits to the house to pick up my stuff while Luke wasn't home, and also sold my father's property shortly after. I used what my father left me to move away and start a new life, so I don't think I will ever see Luke again. I heard from a common friend that Luke now lives with his parents. Their loan has become even bigger than it was before because they keep spending money irresponsibly. Because of that, Luke now works day and night to help them pay it off. But I don't think it will ever end though, unless his parents learn how to manage their finances. Luke should have realized that he needed to control his parents before asking anyone for money. But honestly, I couldn't care less how they end up.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hi, Grace. I never got the chance to thank you for all your help at our wedding. Thanks to you, it went perfect.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, and your speech was wonderful.
I wish Joan's dad was with us to make the speech. If he was alive, he would have made a better one.
Yours was great. My parents were very touched.
The wedding was a lot more compact than I expected.
Well, we both don't like to be the center of attention. So we only invited close family and kept the crowd as small as possible.
A big and gorgeous stage would have been misfit, for you anyway. So I guess a compact wedding was suited for you.
You're totally right. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to wear a wedding dress.
But you did in the end.
Yes, because my grandmother really wanted to see me in one. So I thought I'd give it a try. But I chose a very simple design. I didn't want anything too fancy.
Yes, I think you chose right. Sorry to be blunt here, but you wouldn't look good in something fancy.
I agree. I was glad everyone enjoyed it though.
Anyway, I never would have thought my son would choose someone like you.
Oh, I know, me neither. He's very handsome, which he must have gotten from you. Anybody would assume he'd choose someone pretty.
All of his exes were very pretty. He even dated a girl who won a beauty trophy.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Good-looking people must attract other good-looking people. I wish I could be a part of that.
The reason why he became attracted to you is probably because of that positivity of yours.
I think so. He said he becomes more lively when I'm with him.
I see. Oh, I forgot to mention that next month there's a big family gathering. Why don't you two come?
Nice! Are we celebrating something?
Yes, there's a family member who's turning 100 years old. She's Joan's grandfather's sister, which makes her Joan's great aunt.
Wow, a great aunt? I did meet John's grandfather at our wedding. He is a very fashionable gentleman.
He has 7 siblings. The eldest is turning 100.
What is John's grandfather's birth order?
The last? That's why the two are quite far apart in age.
I bet.
Anyway, we have a banquet room booked at a hotel for the celebration.
A banquet room? Wow.
You should come and say hello. Most of the family weren't invited to the wedding, so you haven't had the chance to meet them. This would be a great opportunity.
I agree. I'll check the date with John. Just to confirm, are you sure I'm invited?
I will let the host know. Everyone should be aware that John got married, so I'm sure it won't be a problem.
Oh, thank you. I look forward to seeing everyone.
Good. I hope you get along with everyone. How was the gathering for you last night? You seemed quite nervous.
Good morning. Oh, yes, I was very nervous to meet everyone. And I was astonished. How come everyone in the family is so good looking?
I know. I was surprised when I joined the family as well. Everyone has a very pretty face.
It made my heart race. I felt completely out of place.
Right? You would actually stand out among such good-looking people, as in a bad way.
I think I kinda did.
Makes you lose your confidence, doesn't it? You must have felt alien, or even miserable. Maybe. Do you regret that you got married into this family?
I mean, I was a little embarrassed, but I didn't feel alien.
Are you sure? You don't have to act strong.
I'm sure. Because everyone was so nice to me. The younger member of the family went out for more drinks afterwards. We all became good friends. We were calling each other by nicknames by the end of the night. Or should I say, by the morning? We stayed out so long, I just woke up.
Huh? You became that close with them? With my family?
Yes, we exchanged contacts and everything. We also created a group chat. I'm so glad you asked me to join the gathering.
That's not right.
Beg your pardon?
That's not right. Why did you get close to them?
What? Grace, what's wrong?
You do not fit in the family. A decent person would realize and want a divorce. How the hell can you not see someone as ugly as you don't belong?
Ugly?
I'm referring to you. Why is my son married to such a pig? You're not welcomed.
Oh, Grace, calm down.
How did you do it?
Huh?
I'm asking you how you tricked my son to marry you. Surely you had to. Do you have something on him?
What? No. We're together because we fell in love. I had never tricked him. How could I have that kind of technique? My experience with men are so limited.
I don't believe you. That can't be. Who would fall in love with a person like you? You're ugly. You give me chills. What did you do to marry John? I refuse to accept you as my daughter-in-law.
Wow. So the truth comes out. I didn't know you thought of me that way. I mean, I did know that you always kept your distance, but I see now that you never liked me.
When first John introduced you to me, I was so shocked that I nearly fainted. I couldn't help but wonder if John was having issues with his vision.
I do realize that my appearance is far from attractive, but John loves me for who I am inside.
If you know that, you're unattractive. How can you allow yourself to be with John? Get a divorce.
I don't want to do that. You might not believe this, but we are very happy together. Everyone in the family said that John seems much happier than before. You heard them too, didn't you?
That's only because he's still excited about being a newlywed. It will die down in a matter of time. Then he will deeply regret he married an ugly person like you.
Oh, well, I don't know.
I am. He'll regret it for sure. If John doesn't want a divorce now, so be it. For now, though. You must be perfect at housekeeping. You're not good enough to be his wife, so at least be sure to take care of all the chores. That's the only thing you can provide him.
Housekeeping?
Duh, that's the least you can do.
Okay. I'm not very good at housekeeping, but I'll do my best.
Excuse me?
Hi, Grace, what is it? Is something wrong?
Yes, something is very wrong. I heard from John's cousin. Is it true that you're making John cook?
Oh, Oh, that.
Have you forgotten what I said to you? An ugly pig like you making my son do chores? It's unbelievable.
We help each other with chores since we both work. Surely I can't manage everything on my own.
That's your responsibility. My poor baby, get a divorce, now. He comes home tired from work and you make him go through all that? The wife should take care of all the chores. Why are you working anyway? You should be a full-time housewife and support your husband.
Actually, truth be told, John is the full-time homemaker now.
Excuse me?
John stays at home as the homemaker, and I go out to work as the breadwinner.
What are you talking about? You're talking gibberish? John is a sales executive at a trading firm.
Yes, but he actually became sick from overworking. So he left the firm when we got married. That's why he cooks dinner and does other house chores.
What? Why have I not heard about this? This is very significant news. I don't understand why this was kept from me.
Probably because he didn't want to tell you.
Why?
I mean, your reaction is imaginable. You would say something like, "Be a man, blah blah." Your ideology is so biased and outdated.
I beg your pardon?
Well, John's actions speak the truth, right? He hasn't told you, so he must not trust you.
What do you know about my son? Don't you speak like you know everything.
John has sometimes spoken about you, and they were mostly negative.
What? How so?
That you were a lazy, stay-at-home mom. You never worked and yet spent so much of what your husband had earned without even doing any house chores. And that you were an arrogant, unlikable person.
John said that?
Yes, he did to me. So I think that John may not like you that much, Grace.
That can't be. You're lying to me. You're lying to me about everything, including that you're the breadwinner. You're trying to deceive me.
No, it's the truth. I am in a directive position of an international firm. I make plenty to pay for the both of us.
That's not reason enough for my son to be a homemaker.
John didn't like working in an organization. He really hated his environment where he had to show up at this office every day. He worked for his living, but one day his heart couldn't tolerate it anymore. There was even a time when he physically could not take a step forward while he was headed to his office.
It was that bad for him?
Yes, it was. When I first met him, he was not in a good condition. We became close because I was giving him advice about work. Once we started dating, we realized that we were a good fit because we kind of supplemented each other. So, we got married and agreed that John would be the homemaker.
That's why he chose you?
The current lifestyle suits him. He seems much happier nowadays.
You, a director at an international firm? Do you think I can actually believe that?
I don't mean to boast or anything, but I am really good at what I do. My professional background helped me hit it off with your family too, you know?
What do you mean?
Remember the family gathering you invited me to the other day? Well, a few of us began to talk about work and it really sparked the conversation. I was like a consultant that night. Some asked me for advice and all. See, that's one of the reasons why I was able to get along with your family.
You pig! No, it can't be true. I don't believe any of this.
Oh, well, that's too bad. If you don't want to believe it, so be it. I didn't want to, but I will let John know of our conversations. I don't think I can tolerate you calling me a pig any longer anyway.
Everyone is out of their minds. Why does everyone have your back? Why am I the one getting scolded?
I heard you got told off by some of your family. What did you expect after being so disrespectful to me? Just because you're my mother-in-law doesn't give you the right to say things like that.
How the hell did you trick everyone to like you? You just got married to John. You're new.
Oh, did I never tell you? I am really talented at that. I'm very likable. It's important for me to be able to build a good relationship with people, not only for work, but also for my personal life. I'm quite proud to say this skill helped me to become a director regardless of my young age.
I was even told that I should be begging you for forgiveness. How can this be?
Wow, I guess I really am loved. John was furious about all you had to say to me. From my perspective, it's very sweet of someone to become so emotional for me.
Everyone is a traitor. When I first joined the family, everyone was nice to me. They treated me so well, saying how glad they were to see such a pretty bride.
Yes, but you have an ugly personality. And people get used to seeing a pretty face after a while.
Who are you calling ugly? Someone as ugly as you can't call someone else ugly.
You know, people try to avoid something unattractive. In my case, my personality made up for my unattractiveness, so I always had people around me. In your case, though, your face wasn't enough to make up for your personality. That's why no one is around you anymore. That's how ugly your personality is.
Shut your mouth, you pig.
John is very disappointed in you. He said he didn't want to contact you anymore, or even see you.
What? He can't cut me loose like that. You don't mean he's leaving his old mother?
Honestly, we both don't want anything to do with you. It's so unfortunate. All your family are so nice. How did you end up like that?
Don't talk to me like you know better. I will not take that from you.
See, that's what I mean by ugly personality. You think you can say anything just because you're pretty? Well, you should know, life is not that easy.
Are you scolding me? A petty girl like you?
You may be older, but clearly I am much more aware of how the world works. You should feel ashamed you are getting scolded by someone younger than you. I hope one day your heart and face balances out. Grace was not able to redeem herself from her bad reputation in the family. On the contrary, John and I became even closer with the other family members. Grace couldn't stand it, so she stopped contacting everyone, hoping that somebody would worry and eventually call her, but no one did. Grace became desperate and wrote a letter to John, claiming he should be worried about her. The only way she could contact him was through a letter because he was ignoring all her messages. But that letter too was torn and thrown away by John. Soon after, our address changed, so we stopped receiving letters. Recently, most of our family has forgotten about Grace, and I am living happily with John.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.